Starting. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Poker Live podcast. My name's Joey Ingram, Money Chicago. Joey, today's podcast, we're going to get to know more about YouTube poker video blogger and professional poker player Andrew Neeme. Just a couple things before we get into it. I want to give a big shout out. I know Andrew knows this company as well. I'm a whalestaking.com. When I was looking for people if they want to do any sort of sponsorship advertising for the podcast, and this is a company that got in touch with me. They actually staked me after Black Friday when all my money was on PokerStars and I had no money. And then I would go to the casino and try to become a live pro, and they helped me out do that. I don't know. It didn't turn out well because I ended up back online. But I do want to give them a big shout out. If you're a U.S. player, you want to get staking, you want to get coaching, check them out, amawhale.com. Andrew, you work with those guys too, right?
I have worked with them. Yeah, those guys are. They seem like really good guys, really solid guys there.
Yeah, those guys are. I mean, Shane is. I've known Shane for a while. So I think Shane's a pretty good guy. But yeah, let's get into today's podcast today. Joining me on the pod is a young gentleman who man. Listen, Andrew. I don't know, man. They love these fucking video blogs, buddy. I've never really been into video blogs before. They're always on YouTube everywhere. But I know like the Trooper, he's got one. But I feel like yours is. I feel like yours is a little different than the Troopers, I guess. I mean, I have a little bit more poker content going on in your video blogs typically. But ever since you started the video blogs a couple months ago, the people love them. They like the type of person that you are. They like the content they're getting. The video quality is superb. The way that you show the hands is really great too. And yeah, man, I'm really happy to have you on the podcast today. Get to know a little bit more about you and to help people out there get to learn a little more about you as well.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, it's pretty awesome to be here, and a little bizarre, first of all, to be on an award-winning podcast. This is my first ever award-winning podcast appearance. It's a big honor to be on an award-winning podcast. So congratulations to you, first of all, on that. And how does that feel to have an award-winning podcast?
I got to tell you, it feels pretty happy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like, sure, some people say awards are like, whatever, what awards matter sometimes. But at the same time, it's always cool to be recognized for something that you do. And obviously you understand that you put a lot of hours and a lot of work into what you do. So I think it's pretty cool even to get some type of recognition for something that you do, that you love, and that other people enjoy too.
Absolutely. I assume you put a ton of hours into this work, into this effort. I know it takes up a shitload of time.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I mean, I've been editing some videos. I like to do these live, but how much time are you spending actually editing these video blogs? Because I know it's got to be pretty intense.
Yeah, it takes up a ton of time. I would like to say that like on a good day, it takes maybe 8 hours of just video editing, just trimming clips and putting clips together and all that stuff. Right. That's on a good day. So it can get up to like 12 hours maybe for each video. And then that's not even including like all the other stuff, all the YouTube stuff that goes along with that, like just looking at comments and answering questions, and then everything on Twitter and Instagram and all that sort of stuff that goes along with it. So yeah, it takes up a ton of time, but it's definitely been, I think it's easily been worth it, and it's been super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize exactly what goes into it behind the scenes when you're putting together a video. Even when you're making a 12-minute video, it sometimes takes, as you said, 10, 12 hours because you have this vision in your mind. You want to have the audio right. You want to have the transitions right. You want to make sure what you're saying looks good and sounds good. So, and then you go back over it 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, and you keep going over it. So it's like the process is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to kind of want to keep perfecting each video and each little scene in the video and each sentence that you say. Mm-hmm. And you can pretty easily become a little bit obsessive over it. So I try not to do that. I probably should try harder, but yeah, it's a struggle to not do that. But I mean, I guess you just want to try and like, I keep telling myself that you don't want to like, or whatever with each thing that you're doing. Each episode doesn't need to be perfect by any means. It's just have to like keep creating things, I think, and then hope that each one is better than the last one and you're improving. And
yeah, I think there's a little bit of lag here. I'm not sure if it's me or you, but I do think that is a pretty good approach to take with it. I think also the idea of you wanting to be perfect in your mind, and you know it'll never sort of get to that point, that perfect point, but sort of striving for that each time you do go out and really trying to put in that above average effort, that sort of obsessive effort into it. I think that really builds some positive habits that over time, when you keep doing it, then it's able to keep getting better and better because you keep pushing yourself to want to be better with what you're creating and what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's just a poker blog. You know, we're just we're out there, we're playing 2-5 we're on the 2-5 streets, and it's just a poker game, right? And we're just kind of documenting that. But on the other hand, you really want to, if you're going to do something, you kind of want it to be like, you know, you want to go all out when you're doing something. So you want it to be of a certain quality.
For
right?
sure.
So whatever that thing is, you tend to want to do it well. And poker vlog of 2-5 no limit hands, then I want it to look a certain way, I guess.
Wait a second, Andrew. So there also is some content where you play the great game of Pot Limit Omaha. I've seen it, man. Listen, shout out to you, by the way, for throwing the great game of Pot Limit Omaha in the descriptions. I fucking love it. But man, I see you getting in the PLO streets a little bit. I see you mixing it up out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to mix it up a little bit. I mean, my no limits analysis isn't exactly like genius level, and when I get in the PLO streets, it's not. It's worse than that. So I'll get in there. I'll hop in there from time to time for sure and mix it up. How much to offer? I don't know how much I have to offer as far as like talking about hands and when it comes to PLO. Mm-hmm. But it's a fun game, and I'll definitely be in there from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure you're much better versed at understanding poker and PLO than most of the people that are going to be watching the video. So I think people out there are really learning. You know, even though like you think, hey, I'm not no expert at this game, but at the same time, I feel like your poker knowledge in general, and then when you start talking about how to apply the PLO, I feel like you're still going to be able to help some people out there who maybe have no idea how to play. So in a way, I think it is still very helpful to people for you to talk PLO.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. That's definitely could be the case because I mean, it's like when I was playing PLO in LA, and then I posted that video. I like in one of the hands I had a set, right? So turned a set, whatever. There was a lot of people that were like, "Dude, you had a full house. How can you fold that hand?" And they just didn't know that like you can only play 2 cards, right, from your hand. So you could be pretty right, I guess, in that thinking.
Some people in the chat said, "Where are the edibles at today?" I don't know if we're going to be consuming any edibles today. That was on the Luke Shorts podcast last week. Shout out to that podcast, by the way. Andrew, can we expect any rants from you about Doug Polk today that maybe might blow the internet up and get everybody talking? Or no, maybe not. Is this not the episode for those rants?
It seems a little unlikely, I think. I'm not really the one to like just talk shit about people's poker games and stuff and talk about like how bad everyone is, every single person other than me, how bad at poker they are. I don't know. We can try and come up with somebody and talk about how bad at poker they are, but if you have someone in mind.
No, I don't fucking know, man. Guys in the chat, by the way, I'm still in California. I'm still in last podcast you saw I had Ebony on. So I'm still at Ebony's place. She just moved into a new room. So I'm not in my little sister's room. I'm not in a random. I'm in Ebony's room right now. I'm technically doing the podcast from here. So if you're wondering why this looks so sort of feminine, or never mind, female, back, not feminist, female. But Andrew, so are you sponsored by Gildan? Are they putting the sponsorship for the podcast today? I see them in the background there. Are they supplier of the clothes, or what's up with that? Is that a paid placement?
I see. No, that was just happenstance. But we actually, so we just went live with some T-shirts. Some people have been demanding some apparel with 1 or 2 of the catchphrases that kind of happened in the videos. So went live with some T-shirts today. Uploaded a video earlier today, just about a couple hours ago, and you can get yourself a T-shirt now. It's so now we got all these boxes and boxes of T-shirts ready to go for when the occasional person wants a T-shirt.
So are these considered favorable T-shirts for people out there? If they wear these, are they going to feel in a favorable mood or attitude, or are they going to not feel like that? What would be the way that you'd like them to feel while wearing the clothes?
Yeah, I would say that's a good description. We also say that they are designed to promote run good on and off the tables.
Wow, really?
There you go.
You got tank tops?
No, on and off the tables, I said.
But do you have these in tank tops though?
Oh, not yet. We're waiting for your artistic contribution to the lineup, and then we need to collaborate on the apparel. So then once we get that, we'll get it up on the website. People will be wearing those all over the place, all over the country.
Oh man, they might, man. I don't know, man. I'm in for these t-shirts. Where can people find the clothes at, kid? Give them a little, let them know where they can go. Because I'm sure you got a lot of people out there who are very interested in picking some of these up.
AndrewNeeme.com, and then just click the little shop link there. That's where you can grab a t-shirt.
All right, guys. So get the shirt, and if you run bad, get your money back. You can offer money back if people run bad in the shirt, because allegedly you get to run good in the shirt, but if they run bad, they get the money. What's up with that?
We can talk. We can talk about something like that. Sure.
Sounds good. D. Haya says, "Why is Poppy sober today?" Dude, it's 1 p.m. All right, it's 1 p.m. on like a Tuesday right now, so it's a good time to be sober. So
I'm actually indulging myself because this is a little bit terrifying. This whole live experience thing. I'm usually able to just stop and just cut shit out every time I say something I'm not really a fan of. Just stop, redo it. So this live experience thing, a little bit daunting. So I'm getting in there. It's what day is it? Wednesday?
Tuesday. I don't know. Tuesday or Wednesday, I think.
Tuesday. Yeah. That's right. So Tuesday afternoon.
So you're a bit nervous right now, then it seems like.
Say again?
So you're a bit nervous right now, then you said.
I mean, the live experience is this is my first ever, I think, live broadcast thing. I've never done any streaming, like whether that's from the online tables or YouTube thing. YouTube has live streaming now. Never done it before, so this is the first time.
It's pretty, yeah. I mean, it definitely seems pretty terrifying at first. I know when I was doing some of my first stuff, I don't want to. You're always watching what you're saying, and you don't want to say anything dumb, especially like, at this point in time, you built up a big audience for yourself. You got a lot of people out there that really support you, really love your stuff, really love you, and you don't want to say anything and then be like, anything sort of happens. But I feel like with yourself, I wouldn't have to worry about that too much. You don't seem like the kind of guy that's going to get too out of line with the type of things that you're going to be saying, unlike some of my guests who I've recently had on the podcast too.
When you first started, did you find yourself doing more like preparation for things that you wanted to say, and now it just kind of flows a little bit easier, or
no.
How does that?
Never. I never really did much preparation. I mean, my idea of preparation. So like on here, I have my little preparation like notes I have with a little outline, and that's pretty much what I've always done. Because most of the people I've had on, I've known about, or I know what they're all about. So like, instance for you, I've read a couple things that you've done with my buddy Robbie Straczynski over on Car Player Lifestyle. Shout out to Robbie. And I know about you from a little bit just through the years as well too. So with you, I'm trying to just touch on a couple points that I feel like maybe some people want to know more about. And yeah, that's kind of my preparation for this. And outside of that, I kind of just have it in my mind. It's like a little game tree in my mind of where to go with what questions and topics and stuff like that.
We've actually met once before. I don't expect you to remember though.
I imagine it was with James at some point in time.
That's right. Shout out to James.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy James.
Yeah, we met over at Aria. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like Aria Vidaro or something like that. One of those walks. I think it was in between the Bellagio and the Vidaro, that walkway over there, I think.
Nope, it was at the poker table.
At the poker table? Wait, when was this? No Limit?
You guys had been. This is deep into my 1-3 no limit grinding days. I was over at the Aria, and you guys were at what was the nightclub before they changed it to what it is now.
Oh my God, that was so long ago. That was like Hayes or something like that. This was 2010 or 11 or something like that.
Yep, Hayes. You guys were in Hayes, and I was grinding in the poker room, and then you guys stumbled over to the poker room, and you actually you sat at my table. And like every single hand, and you ended up stacking a guy with like 8-3 offsuit. I have a pretty good memory, and I remember all of
this. That's funny, man. Hey, listen, guys. Allegedly I played No Limit Hold'em, but this was before I switched to the great game of Pop in Omaha. I wasn't cheating on my baby. This was back in the day when I was an own home full ring player. So
yeah, this is definitely back in.
So give people a little bit of history, kind of on your own playing experience.
Yeah. So I'm like, I guess I'm a product of the whole moneymaker thing. I started just screwing around like online poker in mid 2000s. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and just kind of playing recreationally, as you do when you get started. And I was working in the music industry, and had a few jobs in LA. Started in London actually, and had an internship there, and then followed that over to Los Angeles. Was playing online and playing rather poorly for a long time, and eventually just kind of, did the thing where you eventually find strategy, you find 2+2 and all that stuff, and start to do a little bit better as far as studying and thinking about how to play correctly. And slowly, very slowly, started putting in more time and more studying, and did a little bit better. And I eventually found my way to a site that's no longer around. It's called Bugsy's Club. This was like back in 2007-ish. Just super soft site. Just started to do really well, put in more hours, less hours at the job. This was kind of like when the economy started to do really badly. So there were some projects that I was supposed to be working on that ended up not coming in at the company I was at. So that just kind of meant that there was like less time demand at the job, which just meant more time for online grinding and just putting in the hours. And the combination of that kind of scenario and poker being much easier back in the day online than it is today, and me just finding, I guess, this berry patch of an online site, I just did pretty well, and kind of just ran it up. I mean, I started with like a few $100s. It was one of those stories where you start with a few hundred and move on up the stakes, and ran up a bankroll. And then pretty much the job just completely winded down. I fell into poker, moved to Las Vegas, and here we are in Las Vegas, still grinding it out on the live streets now.
So you've been playing live exclusively since Black Friday happened in 2011?
I've been, it's pretty much like since I moved to Vegas, which was, I think at the end of 2008. I don't think I certainly wasn't like that good of an online poker player. It was just like a combination of things that kind of fell together for me between finding the site and poker being somewhat soft at the time. But I don't think I was like poker stars or full tilt or anything. So even easier than the online scene. Just started playing live, and always stuck to it for the most part.
So your main game right now is the 2-5, and you play some 5-10 as well too. You sort of mix between the stakes out there in Vegas.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I tried game select, and especially like the day games here in Las Vegas, the 5-10 games. It can be snug, pretty tough sometimes. There's some pretty good players in there, some really solid players on a day-to-day basis in there. How well situation and how profitable that is for me. So yeah, so I'll move back and forth between like the 2-5 at the Win, which is like 1,500 max buy-in. I'll be in there a decent amount of the time, and yeah, move back to the Bellagio at 5-10. And then when I go other places, I'm usually really eager to play the 5-10, just because I feel like the games in Vegas are probably tougher than anywhere else in the country, or maybe in the world. So I feel like the games, like the 5-10 games in Los Angeles, action out there, and lots of other places like Florida and East Coast and even Pacific Northwest and places all over. There's poker everywhere now. So I guess, yeah, I move back and forth. I don't know if I have a main stake, but between 2-5 and 5-10.
Yeah, I think a lot of live players I know sort of, well, let me think more about that. The live players I know normally don't want to play 2-5 because they can't handle it ego-wise. You know, they're like, oh, I'm a 5-10 guy. I don't want to be playing 2-5. I don't want to be, I don't know. It's just a lot of different combination of things. So people can't really get themselves to drop down that stake and switch between it, especially if there's a 5-10 running. They're like, I got to be playing 5-10. It's like, how can I not be playing it? But I'm sure that you sort of see is that there is a lot of money to be made at 2-5. And also when you do play 5-10 and when you drop back down to 2-5, the confidence that you bring there is a bit higher than it might normally be. So I think that's a big advantage to playing between both stakes, is that the times that you do drop down, you're just going to feel in such a comfortable situation and feel like you're very in control and confident with your game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can for sure relate to the sentiment of not wanting to take steps backwards. I mean, you always, at least for me, I always want to keep pushing myself to be moving forward, and whether that's like in poker or elsewhere. And so especially in poker, you want to be playing the game where you feel like in, but oftentimes I don't know if that's the biggest game in the room. If it's like a choice between a 5-10 game where there's lots of pretty solid snug regs, or a 2-5 game where people are splashing around and you can buy in for 300 big blinds. I don't know. You just want to try and look at it from a little bit more of a analytical, theoretical viewpoint, I think.
Yeah, it could definitely go both ways. Obviously, as you mentioned, you want to keep challenging yourself and want to keep getting better. Obviously, poker is about making money too. So it's like, well, where do you draw that line between challenging yourself, getting better and keep pushing, or playing in a good spot where your win rate's going to be pretty high and your hourly is going to be pretty high? So I think there is merit for both sides. I mean, I sort of went on the way of playing in the harder games, a little bit higher stakes for a long time, and just kept doing that because in the long run, I felt like that benefited me a ton. Whereas if I always would have just been looking for that softer game, then that would have probably had a pretty negative long-term impact on my overall skill level and ability. So it's kind of like I can understand both sides, and I can see merit for going both ways too, but it's going to be person to person dependent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it depends on how much time you like spending in the lab, really. And I feel like you're a guy who kind of loves that sort of thing. Just from hearing you talk about PLO and how much you like doing the work that's away from the actual playing and all that stuff. And I think if you're going to be playing against, if you're battling against other regs, that's something you really need to do like a lot of the time. And you can't just, I don't think it's going to work if you try and force yourself to do that and if you don't really enjoy it. I don't really enjoy like studying hands and lines and all that stuff. Not going to do that well, even though you are trying to put in the time. Mm-hmm. If you don't really enjoy it, enjoy the process of learning about all that different stuff, really do that well in those games, even if you're making some sort of an effort off the tables.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I haven't thought much about it from that perspective, because I mean, to me, I always look at it like, you know, I don't know if I really started off enjoying the studying, enjoying being in a lab and just like fucking going over hands and situations for hours and not really playing. But I think for myself, when I start to realize how much that will benefit me when I am playing, you know, if it's going to be something I'm spending hours on playing and I'm just going to feel much better about my play, I'm going to feel confident, I'm going to do better if I do this thing that I might not like. Well, it's like you kind of have to fucking figure out a way to like it. And then once you realize the rewards you get from liking it, it's sort of like, well, you know, maybe I should put a little bit of effort into it and readjust my mindset and frame the situation differently and get myself to like it.
Sure. Yeah. That's definitely possible. And I mean, I think everyone's different. Yeah. I just think that some people are going to, once they get into hand history discussions, they just kind of tune out, they start rolling eyes, and
yeah,
I don't know if like, that's, I mean, I'm not saying I'm quite the contrary, that I'm not the person who's going to put in the most hours in the lab. And I think that kind of shows, because like I said, I've been here since 2008 or whatever, and still kind of moving between 2-5 and 5-10. I mean, I think I can do pretty well in lineups that are not so reg heavy, but again, who can't, you know? So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it just depends. It depends what you're into and what you kind of take to.
Well, you're gonna become a professional YouTuber / filmmaker / brand very shortly here, my friend. So, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where if you don't want to do that for much longer, you don't really have to, dude.
Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like, what did you when you first started the podcast? Did you have a vision of what you wanted to do with it, as far as like where your time would be spent and where it would lead you to?
Honestly, I had no idea. I just kind of started the podcast because I really wanted to talk Pop Omaha at the time, and the guest thing sort of came by accident in a lot of ways. I started off making these PLO videos where I just reviewed hand histories, and I had this sort of idea of building a narrative of the players. And then one of the players, Karamont, was like, "Hey, I'll just come on if you want. Like, we've been doing some hands." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come on." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense. Like, yeah, sure, I'll have you on." And then I had the second one I had Doug on. Me and him did like our power poker thing back in the day, because I was like, "Doug, people right now on the forums, they have a different view on you than I feel like they should have. I feel like they should, think very highly of the things you've done. So let's do a podcast together." And that was the second one I ever did. And really, once I started doing that, I was like, "Oh wow, I feel like this could be something that could be really good and people would really like." But I never really had I didn't know what that could mean in terms of make a living off it or make any money off it or like build up an audience. I had no idea what exactly that entailed. It was just something I really enjoyed doing and talking about. And I was also playing poker all the time, so it was easy just to do the podcast on the side and focus on the grind and focus on playing PLO.
Yeah, I think that's I really think that's the best approach to so many different pursuits, where you just kind of do something because you really enjoy doing it, and then you find out that you're also like somewhat decent at it. And when you are able to find something like that, something that you're good at and you really enjoy doing, that's where like the best sort of success stories come from.
Yeah, I feel like with what you've done here, it's been like a pretty fast thing. I don't know. I feel like the first one, and it was kind of perfect time for it, because. And so I don't know much about the Trooper guys out there. I know we got some guys that fucking love the Trooper. Shout out to the Trooper. I know he's out there getting the hookers and drugs in Vegas. Whatever, man. Trooper's getting after it. But I never really checked out his video blog very much out there. But Doug was doing a lot of YouTube stuff out there. A lot of Twitch guys were starting to come on YouTube a lot too. And then you start with the video blog, very high quality, very well done. You have a very nice way that you are on camera, the way you talk about hands, the way you're able to go over things. And I feel like it was just like a very just a perfect moment, and then that just sort of popped from the beginning, and then ever since then, man, people are just like consuming it, man. Every time I go, I'm like, "How the fuck these things have so many views, man?" I'm like, "Damn, these people love the video. They love the video blogs. It's crazy, man. It's wild to see."
You think it's a little silly, don't you? You think the whole poker blog thing is a little silly, don't you? You could be honest.
For sure, I do. I talk about this all the time, man. I'm like, wait a second. So wait a sec. They go to the casino. They go there and they put the camera on. They record the hand, and then they go talk about 3 hands, and then people love it. I'm like, they've been doing that on videos for so long with Run It Once videos. They talk about 100 hands on there, but they don't show the people. It's just. But the thing is, video blogs are so popular on YouTube. They're just Casey Neistat his gets millions of views. There are so many of these sub-genre video bloggers, and they get 1 million+ views. People love this sort of experience. They love being a little bit voyeuristic. They love following along with somebody who's doing something that they might want to do, and they just love things that look pretty and look beautiful. So if you can combine those things together, people are going to like it.
I mean, I think that that sums it up for the most part. I think that there was. I mean, you mentioned that there was the training site stuff. Like Run It Once has been around for a while now, and people can watch hands and stuff. But I mean, accessible to the public like YouTube is, and B, is it what most people are experiencing when they go to the local casino? Or I mean, the biggest section of the audience of the poker playing pool is beginners, I think. And then once you go higher up the skill ladder, the smaller the audience is. So most beginning poker players are going to be playing 1-2 live cash games or home games with their friends and stuff like that, and then maybe some 2-5 games, and then smaller up the ladder. So was there much content that was really focused on that exact game type? And was it presented in a way that was I don't know, appealing and you know, a lot of effort was put into the production of it. I mean, we had things like for a super long time, Live at the Bike was pretty much the only one out there that was doing the live poker thing and like something unique and different at a casino.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a couple other ones. There's like Stones, I think up in Sacramento or something. And there's another one out in the Midwest somewhere, Chicago area. Aside from that, I don't know what there was as far as like low stakes, how to approach low stakes live poker, you know, and being able to see how it was done.
That's a really great point. It's a really great point. Yeah, the packaging, the presentation, the format does really matter. And I think you hit on the most important thing, which is why it's been so hard to do, is that it has to be like the person has to put the time in to create it, to make it what it is. You have to be putting in these 8 to 10 hours for like, just kind of because you want to do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I think people like, that's sort of what I feel like I do with things is, for these to get, like, yeah, I have to just sort of put the time in and do it and put the hours in and not really get anything in return from it in terms of like a traditional monetary exchange. And with you, for this to even have happened, you needed to just be like, hey, fuck it. Like, I'm going to just put 10 hours into making this video, and like, I'm not going to get any money from it, but I'm just going to put it in there. And a lot of people can't get themselves to spend time, consistent time and repetitive time on doing something that they don't get a monetary, you know, growth straight away from doing that. And they're so sort of blinded, and it makes sense. You know, obviously money's a big thing. We need money to survive. We need money to pay our bills. But I think the long-term value you get outside of just money, and then potentially money does come if you're able to do well at it. A lot of people overlook that. And I think that's a big reason why in poker we sort of have had what we've had, is that just people didn't see the incentive put the time in to do it.
I agree. It's tough, like, especially if you're playing like low to low mid stakes, you got to be putting in a ton of hours at the poker table to want to be able to generate the income that's, you know, a reasonable standard of living. So it's pretty tough to like cut out a bunch of those hours and devote it to something that's not generating any income whatsoever in the short term. So yeah, it just kind of required someone to say, no matter what, even though it's going to take all these hours away from the poker table, I'm just going to do it no matter how many hours it takes. And for me, it was like personal level. It was like poker kind of was lacking a thing or two for me to that it could provide for me as far as like creating something and being creative in general. And you know, I've always just kind of like screwed around on Instagram, posting photos or whatever, and just kind of took it to a different medium. And I thought that there was like that hole there where there just wasn't any sort of content that was covering the everyday cash game experience, cash game grind, low to mid stakes. So just having that desire to do something different and seeing a little bit of a hole in the content that was available just kind of led to this. You
know what, Andrew? You've sold me on video blogs. I'm now in on them. Now it makes more sense. I said before we came on, I was like, listen, it's not that someone said on Twitter, they said, don't you make fun of, I said, listen, first of all, I like the fucking guys doing video blogs. All right, I talked with a couple of them. I've known some of them for a while. Like, I like the guys doing them. It's the idea of doing them is just sort of like, I can't understand why so many people want to watch them. But you've explained it to me why, and it makes so much sense, is that online is really not what most people really play live. They don't necessarily play online. Like, I think, you know, I'm a little blinded by the people I know around me and the people I interact with that we all play online. But in reality, people in America are playing live. They go to the casinos, the home games with friends, the college games, the bar. Like, that's where they're playing these games. And I think that they're very interested in seeing someone play those games too, and like the actual experience of it. So it does make a lot of sense why they are so popular. It really does. I'm now in. I'm in on. I want to do some video blogs now. No, I'm kidding. I'm probably doing video blogs, but
it's good to have your approval. It's good to have you on board, and now we can move forward. I'm glad that you're on board here, Joey.
I'm in, man. That's kind of like him now. So Mike Poker says, stop using GTO. You can't explain it. I'm never going to stop using GTO. GTO is a way of life, my friend. It's not about a specific definition. It's a lifestyle. It's a decision you make in your life to exist in a way that you want to be. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Andrew?
I was going to say that as far as like people being mostly playing live games and stuff in the US, it's also like there's that. And I think it's also the interest in people doing non-standard jobs, especially as, you know, the economy and like things change. You know, people spending less time in the same job, people are moving around jobs much more often. There's all sorts of different ways to make a living and have an income over social media these days and stuff like that. And I think people take an interest to the sort of non-standard job and whatever it happens to be, whether that's poker or like, you think about like a show like that. What's that show where it's like the fishermen out on the boat in the stormy waters or whatever off the coast of Alaska and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, they have a bunch of like a Below Deck. There's one like that. There's I don't know what that one's called. I know what you're talking about. It's like on True TV or one of those channels like that.
So I mean, if you give those guys like whatever, if they start recording some of the footage and some of the day-to-day life on their cell phones, it's going to look fairly crappy. But if a TV production company comes along and starts documenting that, you suddenly have like a really fascinating look into like people's lives, and you have a pretty cool show, and people are interested in something different, I guess.
That's true. But then I think about some of the video blogs that are popular on YouTube, and like, listen, I've tried watching some of these, man. I don't know what the people are doing. Like, I mean, they just like, they don't do much, you know, they're just like drive a car and they don't do much. So I'm always like, man, I don't know. People are just interested in all different things, and it could be atypical things or it could be standard life sort of things. I think that a lot of people are just looking for entertainment and to sort of take a little escape from their own world, and YouTube provides that on a mass scale of all sorts of different types of people, men, women, Europeans, Americans, everything. So it's like, if you create something good, people are going to find it. And if you keep creating that, more people are going to find it. So it's where it just comes down to that, is that you just have to do it, take that first step, and then just keep doing it consistently.
Yeah, and I think that there's like, it's tough to point to one particular thing that one particular reason why people watch the videos, because there's various reasons why various people watch the videos. Some people just come there just for the hands, just for the hand histories. They fast forward through my boring speaking segments. They go right to the hands, watch the hands, and then they close YouTube or whatever, go watch some other videos. Other people watch the whole thing. They like seeing like the Las Vegas scenery and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Or wherever it happened to be at the time. They like the drone footage and all that stuff that we throw in there. So who knows? I mean, the poker content is definitely like the anchor for it. It's like what the vast majority of the audience is interested in. They like the whole poker life, I guess, and other people just want to see some Vegas scenery here and there, and who knows. But according to our good buddy Doug Polk, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world.
Stop it. Hey, Andrew, did you know YouTube's the second biggest search engine in the world, Andrew? You know that?
It's a good little factoid to know. You know, these are important things. So you want to put this stuff out in front of the biggest audience as possible, cast the widest net that you can, and
Andrew, how'd you feel about no, never mind. I don't even want to make a joke about that. But so what happened with the casinos and you filming the video blogs there? So, you know, there's been speculation, maybe other YouTubers may have made a call and said, hey, you gotta shut these motherfuckers down. But what was like the feedback you got from some of the poker rooms in Las Vegas about you filming the hands right there?
I mean, I don't think Doug like had the time to really like phone up all these different poker rooms and make a call and be like, hey, do you know such and such is doing this? And isn't that against the terms of service, the terms of your poker room? I don't think that he was really making calls around to every poker room in Las Vegas. But I think people, he posted something on Twitter, you know, like, hey, isn't what they're doing? Is that allowed? I'm not sure if that's allowed. that was weird. Like when I just asked Andrew, hey, what's you accomplishing this, and what's the method that we can utilize to show poker to the world, etc. And I don't know. I think the internet. I think the internet has provided different forms of communication. How old are you, Joey? Let me ask you this.
I'm old, Poppy. 31.
So, yeah, I think some people view the ways other people speak on the internet, like they just kind of, you know, put it out there put it on social media, and this is how like we this more frequently than we used to, rather than like calling someone on the phone. And some people aren't used to that, I think. So like when someone just like generates a discussion online, I think the kids these days are more into that sort of a thing, rather than, you know, having these like offline one-on-one discussions, which is, you know, it's cool. I mean, it's a good thing, because this is how putting all these things and having conversations online is how we sort through different issues and call people out when they need to be called out and stuff like that. But no, certainly no hard feelings with Doug and any of that stuff. But what was your question?
So wait, you actually think that tweet may have like an impact on some of the casino managers saying that people shouldn't record in casinos?
No, I don't think so. That was the point I was trying to make, is that no, I don't think he had anything to do with it whatsoever. Okay. And I think it was like an eventual discussion that was going to have to happen, and I kind of knew that it was definitely gonna come up. But I also knew that like the only way for the casinos to eventually, for the poker rooms to eventually see the value in the sort of thing that I was doing, was to just go ahead and do it, rather than me trying to explain to them what like the kind of vision that I had for it, because they thought surely they would have just thought it was me running around with a camera in the casino capturing different things, and some crappy production.
You just lost a hand. How's it feel, buddy? You just lost 10,000. How's it feel? Yeah, I mean, probably isn't going to be. I mean, that'd be funny too. I mean, I want to. Maybe it could be good.
I mean, it would certainly be funny. I don't know what. I don't know how much value it would have to the casino, as far as like trying to be able to continue to do this sort of a thing and be able to work with them and you know, show the inner workings of a poker room. And that's kind of like the goal for one of these things, is to show people who are a little bit hesitant to approach a poker room, because in my opinion, and I know in other people's opinions, the poker rooms can be a little bit intimidating when you're looking from the outside in. You have all these like super quiet people quietly grinding it out. Some of them had headphones on and sunglasses.
On the iPad, fucking swiping through, watching a movie. What? Fold, come on. Yeah, man, listen, ain't nobody want to play with a guy on the iPad who's sitting there quiet with the hoodie on, ain't saying a word, and got 2 Avions and a fucking coffee with no cream, no sugar. There ain't nobody want to play with that guy, man. That guy doesn't look like a very appealing and fun player to go compete against that when they go to a live casino.
No cream, no sugar.
That's what you get, don't you? Maybe.
So yeah. Anyway, so the programs, yeah, a little bit intimidating. Especially, I mean, they have the guy at the podium up there. You just have to like talking about when you walk up to that guy who's my girlfriend likes to say this guy's wearing a suit and he's all like serious looking. You look at the other gaming tables and they have, you know, these fun casino shirts on and all that stuff. The guy at the poker room is wearing a suit, exceptionally serious, and you have to know like what you're talking about when you walk up to the guy. And I mean, of course you can ask questions and they'll happily answer any question, but just from the general appearance of it, it's pretty intimidating. And you don't want to look like a dummy, you know, not knowing what you're talking about in front of all these people. So I guess like doing the videos, and I felt like I could in a sense that would show up the room in a way that they would be happy that it was being shown. And if I had approached them about it with the idea, the standard answer is no, for sure. You know.
But what do they say now? Because I know you've had some meetings with some of the people at that run some of the poker rooms around Vegas.
So it's just kind of like an ongoing discussion. It's the poker room managers that I've talked to they're all into it, like across the board. They all look at it as like a positive net positive for poker, and they think it's good for growing the game and all that stuff. And they like the way that it shows off the room and the property. But unfortunately, the decision doesn't really end there. It ends with people, managers of casinos and people in marketing and PR departments and stuff like that, people that are working on the marketing strategies over like 6-month periods and all that stuff. And especially with places like MGM, big publicly traded companies, they have to decide whether working with some unknown person, some unknown poker player, and showing off the brand as that person wants, whether that's worth the risk, of tarnishing the MGM brand, right, if that could possibly happen. I mean, say like one example, one of the managers, there's like an argument or something in the poker room, and I decide that makes for like funny content in the video or whatever, if it's like some harmless argument, and I put that in the video, and then that just doesn't really look that great for the poker room if there's like this kind of stuff going on in the room. I don't know if I would ever actually include something like that. I probably wouldn't, but there's inherent risk, I guess, involved with working with just the random poker player who's making content.
That's true, man. Sometimes you gotta fight the powers, man. You just gotta go against the rules. You gotta break the rules. You gotta what's that lady who went to the back of the bus, right? You gotta take a step against the line, man. You gotta walk past the line. I don't know. Rosa Parks, man. You can be the Rosa Parks of the generation here. You say, fuck it, man. We're gonna create these video blogs. We're gonna show people what the casino is like, show people what the poker's like until they kick me out. And when they kick me out, that's okay. I'll go to a new place. I'll find a new experience out there. As you mentioned, there's casinos all around the world right now. At some point, you're going to find a couple people that are going to accept you and going to let you do it.
The Rosa Parks of poker.
What do you don't like that nickname, Rosa Parks? No?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's whatever.
Martin Luther King. Yeah, history is not my game. I agree. Listen, I'm not a history professional, okay? I never alleged to be a history professional. I'm not a geography professional. I played the great game of Pop in Omaha. I played poker, so that's what I know well. But, I mean, Martin Luther King, if you want to go with that one, we can go with that one, too.
I don't know. We'll think about it. But, yeah, in the meantime, there's it's interesting. I mean, there's, like, different rooms that are more into it than others. So it's just, yeah, I mean, it's just an ongoing discussion. There's rooms that are in other parts of the country that are for sure looking for exposure and ways that the videos can help the room and show off the property and stuff like that. So there's always like different things you can do. And in the meantime.
Okay, so people in the chat are saying it's not Rosa Parks. Who was the person that went to the back of the bus then?
Well, Rosa Parks refused to move to the back of the bus.
Oh, she wouldn't go. Same thing, man. For fuck's sakes, you guys are so critical in here. My God, man. We had a good question in here. I want to go back to this one. It's from Scopophobia. Does the rise in video blogs create more fun players at the tables? That's what I want to know. Good question.
Does it create more fun players at the table?
Yeah. Does the rise of video blogs create more fun players at the tables?
I mean, nobody's done any sort of analytics research on the matter, but I would think that growing the game and exposing it to as many people as possible in a positive light, that's kind of like been the mission of the poker industry, the poker apparatus for years, since they weren't able to just bank off of the moneymaker / online poker boom anymore. The constant discussion is how do we grow the game and how do we show it to new players and bring new players into the game. And you do that by reaching out to them. Where are these people? Nowadays, there's, everyone's on social media. So it just kind of makes sense to put together some sort of a package that shows poker off in a good way, and puts it where people are.
I think people like this new trend where people don't play the video game, they watch the video game. They don't even play the game at all. I think people probably enjoy that with the poker stuff, is they just like watch it but have absolutely no interest in poker at all, but they just like the game or they like the person doing it. So I think the video blogs overall are great for poker, and I think it has to create more players playing the game. Whether they're going to be fun or not, who knows, but most likely fun. But yeah, I think anything that does create more exposure for poker that is fun to watch is going to create more people that are interested in playing the game and potentially creating their own video blog one day.
I mean, I know for sure that there's people in the comments of the videos that have said like they decided to give live poker a shot for the first time and they enjoyed it. It went well. And so, I mean, I don't know how many people exactly that is, but there's definitely some people here and there.
Mm-hmm. You want to give any shout outs to anybody out there, Andrew? Anyone that stands out? We get some shout outs.
I'm going to give a shout out to the entire poker texting group that I've mentioned a few times. So I know some of those guys are watching. So shout out to those guys. There's some heroes in there, and yeah, I don't know.
What's a poker texting group? What's that mean?
That's pretty much like the biggest. It's been like the most influential thing for my development as a poker player, and it's basically just like a group of guys that wanted to move in live poker. And we just, it's just a text message group or whatever, but just a group of guys that are out there on the live streets.
I like it, man. I also saw that you had a fiance, right?
Engaged. True story.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Andrew, if I hadn't seen these pictures, I might not believe what I saw. But I didn't know you were into the BGG, the black girl grind, my friend. I didn't know that'd be your kind of grind.
I knew you would be proud about that. I knew you'd be proud about that fact. Happy to deliver the news to the Poker Life audience.
I'm very happy. Listen, man, that's a rare thing. Only shout to my boy Donnie Peters, a fellow member of the Black Girl Grind community. Me, obviously, out here currently in the midst of. Well, I mean, not really hanging out, but black girl grinding to myself. So, it's a very rare to meet a fellow black girl grinder. So I got to give love. I got to give some props out there because it's just like a rare fight that goes down in the streets these days. We got a lot of big girl grinders out there, obviously 160 or above. Me, Andrew, probably going to show them some love. 160 or below, got to go. You ain't big girl, you got to go. You guys know the motto. But yeah, so what's up? So your girl, is she, how'd you meet her? And what does she think about the rise in this sort of fame and with the video blogs and with the popularity of them?
I don't know if it's fame. I don't know. We shouldn't go that far, but it's been awesome. I mean, I met her at we had mutual friends here in Las Vegas. Met her at a party here, small party. Kind of hit it off. She's always been into trading the markets and stuff, and she got poker right away because there's so many parallels between the two. And yeah, she's awesome. She helped me get my shit together for sure, because I was kind of doing the Las Vegas lifestyle for a long time. You could say for the first couple of years, nothing. You're probably gonna ask like for some good stories or whatever, but nothing to report that's too like out of line or whatever. But just less hours in the lab than I am today. So let's put it that way. So yeah, she's awesome. She helped me out, get my shit together, and yeah, I think she's enjoying the YouTube thing. She's been in a couple of videos. She's made a couple of appearances. Did all the work on these t-shirt designs back here. So thank her for that one.
What kind of stories you got, Andrew, from this time, this out of line time? You got a DGen story for us?
Nah, like I said, there's nothing to report.
You made a good read. I had to deliver on your read, man. You don't got one story. What were you guys? Were you going to the club? Were you popping bottles? You going to the strip club? You on the hooker grind? Like what exactly was getting out of line? You just living in a healthy lifestyle in terms of staying awake and your sleep schedule?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the hooker grind. It was more of just the nightlife that's here in Las Vegas fairly regularly, like much too regularly when you're trying to grind it out at 1-3 no limit hold'em, which is, I mean, you should pretty much never be going to those places and indulging that sort of thing. That was just much too regular of a thing, and eventually, occasionally finding my way to the craps table and all that nonsense.
Interesting. The craps table. Were you like numbers and a hard 8 get better, or were you a guy that bet the don't pass?
I think I was like just 6 and 8, and then eventually went to the don't pass because that's like slightly better edge, right? So went to the dark side on the don't pass. Up, put my retirement on all that nonsense. Like the occasional 3-card poker session when some friends are in town in Las Vegas and we're playing for $5 and $10 a hand.
Well, I got to say, Andrew, it could be a lot worse in Vegas because obviously, I mean, the thing is, you've been in Vegas for a long time, so you've seen a lot of guys come and go. You've seen guys that had their vices, that lost it all in the pits, that lost it all to a stripper. they dated and then for some reason give them a bunch of money. Like, so you've probably seen people get caught up in that Vegas lifestyle, the power, the money, the tables, the bottle service, the women. So, I mean, I feel like you probably look back at the time you maybe a little out of line and you probably say, hey, it could have been a lot worse. And, you know, I'm still here, I'm still fighting, and I'm still doing well. And, you know, maybe it's kind of good. I escaped that little town in my life.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas, you kind of learn a lot about yourself living here in Las Vegas. You find out like what your weaknesses are for sure. It definitely exposes your weaknesses pretty easily. And yeah, I guess it could have been worse. Still here, still grinding it out and doing okay now. Got out of the basement stakes of 1-2 and 1-3. Moved up slightly up the ladder, slightly more comfortable, and still after it, I guess.
So what do you think the future holds for yourself right now with what you're doing with the videos? Because this is kind of something where if you consistently stay on track, it's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm sure you're seeing now is that companies reach out to you, people reach out to you, products, all sorts of things reach out to you to do something together where they're going to offer you money. So do you see that as something that you're going to be interested in pursuing at some point in time in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the current goal is to just keep making cool content and growing the audience. And yeah, occasionally those discussions pop up here and there. And I guess the current goal is to find a poker room who wants to partner up and work together on this little project and do some fun things together. So where it's mutually beneficial to everybody, to them, to me, and to the audience, you know, to where they can property and see the poker rooms and see the poker playing action. So trying to have those discussions with a couple people here and there. And I don't know if like an online poker site sponsorship or whatever is a good fit. I don't know. It's not really like all hashed out whether, you know, like this, I'm gonna do this and then this is gonna happen and then this is gonna happen and then the next thing is gonna just fall into place and all that stuff. I think if you're just that, like we were talking about earlier, working on something you enjoy and you feel like you have something to offer, that you're making something of value, and then those kinds of things that come on eventually, you'll have a couple of different options of, you know, things that you can work on and people that you can work with on your thing. I don't know, just trying to keep churning it out for now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, you know, goals versus systems. If you have a system in place where your main objective is just to follow that system, and your system is you want to create really great content that's high quality that people enjoy and keep getting better and better at it, well, at some point, that whatever big goal you have is going to get reached at some level because you're following along with the system that you put in place. And it sounds like for you, that's what you're doing. You're going to keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep trying to get better. And then at some point in time, something will come up. I mean, it's inevitable for it to happen, really, is that if you keep up long enough, inevitable opportunities are going to come your way. And who knows what they're going to be. They might be in Romania. I don't know. King's Casino place. They might get in touch with you. Maybe you go live out in Czech Republic or Prague or I don't know which country it's in. I know geography guys, don't get on fucking on me for this one, but maybe they'll get you out there. They'll do something out there. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like this is something that who knows where it's really going to take you, man. I feel like it's going international at some point though. Like I just see it in the future where you're going to be spending a lot of time abroad and you're going to be enjoying it over there.
We're definitely gonna go. We're definitely gonna take the vlog international. I really want to go to London. I lived there for like a year and a half, so we definitely need to bring the vlog over there. And whatever, there's poker rooms all over the place: Australia, Macau, other places in Europe, really cool spots all over the place. So yeah, lots of possibilities out there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, as long as you're just kind of working on something that if you're working on something in social media that people are interested in, you're growing a subscriber base, then the opportunities are going to come up. It's not like you need to have like some sort of a master plan from the get-go, as long as you're just in the hours on it. And I'm pretty much like never been working as hard as I am right now with these videos, between like still trying to put in hours at the poker table and churning out the videos pretty regularly. Just all the editing hours, as we said, it's so much time that something has to come down, as far whether it's like sleep or time at the bar and being social and all that stuff. So staying after it, definitely staying after it for now.
I love it, man. George says, gotta respect Andrew. He organically grew his brand in the poker world. So as one of the other people, and in a world where I don't know how many there are organic growers there are in poker, I have a lot of respect for that, because I know the challenge that goes into that. I know the opportunities and the people that get in your ear and that tell you what you should be doing and what you have to do with yourself. And so I know to do it the way that you've been doing it so far. I mean, I know it's a challenge. I know there's a lot of things kind of being thrown at you. So I have a lot of respect for that, man. I really do admire the work and the growth and the effort and the work ethic you put into it, and with the success that you've had so far with it.
Even though you think poker blogging is just completely ridiculous in general, right?
I mean, you know what? Ultimately, it doesn't fucking matter really what I think about the actual thing. You know, I respect people that put in the effort and put in hard work and have a desire to make something high quality. I don't care if it's something that I have no interest in. I still really respect that part of people, because I understand how hard that is, because it's something I've been doing for a long time. So whether it's for a poker video blog, whether it's somebody walking around, whether it's somebody recording themselves cutting down fucking trees, I mean, I don't know. I still have a lot of respect for the process of it and for the work that it takes. And I've come along on video blogs. Now I'm in on video blogs. I might go do one myself tonight, man. I don't know. Maybe.
Didn't you? I thought I saw like a video or two of. I thought you kind of dabbled in the vlogging thing. Maybe you tried to give it a shot. Like I saw you in the gym or something. Took the camera.
Yeah, and so I enjoyed doing them. But then the feedback I got was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, okay. You know, I get some comments from some people, you know, because I'm used to doing the podcast, and I start doing these video blogs, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with them. I'm just kind of chronicling my life, because I put in a lot of work every day. I wake up, I'm pretty much putting in effort and grinding for 16 hours, 17 hours a day at what I'm doing. You know, whether it's my business or working out or with podcast content, with eating, with conversations, with relationships, with whatever. So I wanted to show that process to people, like, hey, this is what it takes if you really want to excel at something in life. And, you know, certain people didn't see it that way. They saw it as, what the fuck are you thinking, bro? You need to go back to the podcast. So I was like, yeah, you know, and I never try to be too influenced by the outside, but at the same time, it was taking up a lot of time. I was recently starting a business at the time too, which is kind of why I was doing that. So I decided to put that on the back burner, and potentially, well, we are going to be doing some video blogs in Miami. Jonah, my wizard assistant's coming over to Miami. We're going to be in there for 10 days. So we're going to put some video blog kind of stuff together there of kind of what we're doing with ourselves down there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, man. I don't know. I got to leave it to you professionals, man. You guys are good. Yours looks too good, man. I'm like, man, I can't do anything. I don't know how to do that myself. I couldn't do that myself. So it just, I mean, it's hard to, it all flows.
It's hard to do everything. It's hard to do a podcast and a video blog and have it and also play some poker from time to time. It's hard to do everything and have it all be like top-notch quality and still get more than like an hour of sleep at night. So I don't know. And you also, I mean, I guess there's like some value in responding to the feedback that you get. You know, if you try something and it's just not that well received, try something else.
Yeah, I think what I thought about it too was that kind of podcast I'm doing at a very high level. Now when I start doing video blogs, like I don't know anything I'm doing at it, so it's just not on the same level as some other content I could be creating. And I know over time it would have gotten better, but at the same time I was like, I'd probably just focus on, as you mentioned, you have a couple options. And you know, you sort of said this earlier, is that when you have so many hours in the day and you have so many different things that you want to do and that you want to work on, we have to sacrifice something at some point in time, whether it's maybe the relationship or, you know, the closest of the relationship or the bar or friends or poker or studying or the video. So it's like at some point you got to sacrifice something, and it's tough. You don't want to sacrifice things that you enjoy doing or that you want to do more of, but it's sort of better for the long-term evolution of whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of the bar myself, and unfortunately, that's just not that conducive to like creating content. And I mean, the good news is that people like seeing the hidden gem around Las Vegas from time to time. So there's like that opportunity to show people my my favorite spots around town. So can take them there for the occasional beer, but meeting up with buddies at the best cocktail spots around town, like on a regular basis, it's just doesn't work if you don't want to be hungover, if you don't want to just kill an entire day of productivity, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about getting hangovers as you get older, man. It's like the next day, especially if you're used to a morning routine, you wake up, you feel like shit, it takes you 4 or 5 hours to get into the routine, and then the day's some people feel the day's wasted, they don't even get started, they delete a day out of their lives, and now I'm getting worried about going to Miami because I think this might happen to me, and I really need to watch myself getting out of line with the terms of service, breaking substances or materials, which I will not be doing there. I won't. No, I won't.
It's got to be tough for you because that's part of the Joe Ingram persona, right? It's just all this indulging from time to time.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's true, Andrew. It's true. I've calmed down in my older days. You know, I'm getting an old man now, so I'm not as hardcore as I may have been a couple years ago and the years before that. But
you have plenty to offer aside from that drugs and etc. nonsense.
Yeah,
plenty to offer.
Well, I got an important question that I've seen some people in the comments say. What's up with the stalkers yet, man? You got any stalkers out there that are getting on you, that have come up to you and made things a little bit uncomfortable for you, or maybe tried to advance themselves on you in some type of way? And I mean, you think I'm joking? I'm not. I've been in some weird shit. Okay, so have you had any experiences like that so far?
No, I can't say I've had any stalkerish experiences. I mean, you get there's definitely some people that are pretty active in the comments, and have some interesting ideas and things about things you should do and shouldn't do. It's some different suggestions that they repeatedly throw at you. But everybody that's come up to me in a live setting, like whether that's it's pretty much always in the poker room, they've always been really normal, really cool, really friendly, and not stalkerish or weird at all. I haven't had my first experience with that sort of thing yet.
Whew. That's good, Andrew, because at some point in time, somebody's going to come up to you and they're going to make an advance on you, and they're going to be like, listen, man, I love you. I love what you do. I'd like to take you up to my room. And you're going to have to tell them no. So I'm telling you it's coming. And when it does come, let me know. Tell me about what happened, because I'd like to know more about the story, because yeah, that happened one time. So let's get into the chat. Who we got out there today? Raw Stuffing's in that chat. What's up, puppy? George Kyo. What's up, George? Andrew basically took Trooper's formula and made it GTO. Let's not get carried away. Tommy Norzet in that chat. What's going on, puppy? Jazz. Okay, I don't want to say that name. Trod. What's up, Trod? SJ, Maz, Elissimo, Jezza, Lars Vegas, Shimmer Stockton, Grimstar, Coach Fuller, Scopophobia, Cold Rummer, Raw Stuffing, Jacob Shannon, Nick F. What's up, Poppies? Luke, I'm your father. Make sure you guys follow new Instagram. Instagram.com says PoppyGTO. Andrew's Instagram is way fucking cooler than mine. He's got some sick ass photos on there. It's, what is it? Yay Andrew on Instagram? What's the IG?
That's the one.
Yeah, Yay at Yay and YAY Andrew. His Instagram's dope. What's the secret, man? Like how does a man or a woman create such beautiful photos? I mean, what's the secret out there for someone who's new to Instagram?
I mean, I guess you just go the extra step and take a little bit more time in what you're doing. It's the same kind of formula that I use for the videos. You just kind of take a little bit extra time and set up the shot, and a little bit extra time and run it through photo editors on your phone. It's really not that there's no like secret magic or whatever that I'm applying over there. And there's people that are way better at it than I am, for sure.
Poppy, can you hook a brother up with the name of these photo editors, please? Writing it down.
Yeah, sure. So I use Camera Plus, and then I use Visco, VSCO.
What was the first one? I got a little bit of the lag there.
Camera Plus.
Camera Plus. Got it. Thank you.
Those are my go-to editors. And then Instagram has their own touch-ups, things you can use. That's about it. I don't know what else, what other advice there is for that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm learning, man. I feel like I'm a micro-stakes donk that just like ventured into the streets and just like clicking a button. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know, man. Oh my God, we got my boy Yayo in the chat. Shout out to Mark Klang, Mr. Yayo. What's up, Mr. Cocaine Man? I'm gonna be in Miami 20th to 30th. I might see you down there, my friend. We might have to get in some after hours activities down there. Kev Math in the chat as always. Kev Math, my guy, one of the guys on Twitter, putting out all the good information, answering questions if you got him. He works for Pocket Fives as well. Big shout out to Kev Math. Gus P out there too.
Who's better than Kev Math? Kev Math is just he's just he's the best. What else is there to say? I
gotta tell you something though, unfortunately, Andrew. I feel like Kev Math is starting to malfunction a little bit. The bot that he used to run on is not performing up to standards on occasion. I've seen it sometimes get a little bit out of line, but I still have high hopes. It's still performing at a very high level, but he set himself at this like God-like level for so many years, and I've noticed some hiccups in the algorithm. So I'm hoping the machine can correct itself and learn from itself and get back up to that normal Kev Math type of level that we expect from him.
Okay, I don't know what that's about. I have no idea. I hope it works out for you.
Yo, man, let's get some questions from the chat. What we got out there? Let me see, man. Let me see what questions we got for Andrew in the chat.
Hello?
Wait, I think I'm back.
You.
What were you doing the entire time here, kid?
Me?
Yeah, were you answering questions from the chat, I hope?
I was just trying to load up the chat, actually, and then
Yeah, they something happened here with the internet where they had to take the internet down and they put it back up. So I don't know what happened, man. We're live, whatever it happens. That's what happens sometimes here. So we were looking for some questions from the chat, but I didn't see them. So now people have to ask me new questions from the chat. Did Joey consume more edibles and abandon the podcast again? No, I didn't. Thank you. Unsub to both of you. Please unsub to me. I would prefer that. The car says, is Andrew on some sort of extracurricular activities?
at the moment,
Correct.
I had one cocktail and one beer, so that's it.
Okay, it's not too bad.
This is the beverage, the last beverage right here.
Okay, James says, what's your net earnings from poker?
I honestly do not know my records. They only go back so far. I was not exactly the best professional, as I've mentioned earlier in my Vegas career, to the point of not even bothering to keep records. So it's a little bit embarrassing, but this is the nature of untracked live poker sites.
Mm-hmm. Joey, how does it feel to be a suave 31-year-old? It feels good. Andrew, Nick F. Jones, Andrew, ever consider playing live at the bike?
Yeah, I would love to be on live. I'd love to get in there, get in the mix on live at the bike. I think it'll happen at some point. Like whether that's, we've talked about doing like a vlogger game. I know they have the Instagrammers game. Talked about doing a vlogger game, but even if that doesn't happen, would love to hop in there at some point.
Car Young Tim, my boy KYT. For videos, does Andrew use Adobe Premiere like you? I believe so.
Yeah, I use Premiere Pro.
Okay. Poppy looks like a male Jennifer Aniston. Cool with that. Jack says, hey Andrew, what's your hourly looking at right now?
The hourly for the 2.5 is looking good. The hourly for the 5.10 is not looking as good as I would prefer it to be. So just gonna have to stay after it. And I mean, I think part of that reason is just my own lack of being in the lab and being prepared to battle with the 5.10 regs at the Bellagio. And part of that is just me living here in Las Vegas, and I don't think the games are that special. But that being said, there's definitely people that are out there that are doing pretty well for themselves in the 5.10. Mm-hmm. And again, I think it just comes back to perhaps a little bit of my lack of love for studying and putting in the studying that I need to.
Set miner Andrew, did you evaluate your downswing? Seems like you made some fishy plays. Love the vlog.
Oh, I definitely make some fishy plays from time to time. That's for sure not debatable.
Yeah, I think we all make fishy plays out there. I've made more fishy, like the A3 lawsuit, for instance, the alleged A3 incident that Andrew brought up earlier in the podcast. We all make some fishy plays from time to time. No one's perfect, not even professional poker players. Everyone's going to make some mistakes, and I think you have to give credit for someone that's actually willing and able to show those mistakes out there for people. Somebody knock on the door?
Yeah.
What's up?
She has to come in the closet.
She's got to come in the closet? All right, well, let me wrap it up in here. Give me like 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, Andrew, we're gonna wrap things up here in a couple minutes. You got any sort of anything people can look forward to seeing from you at all?
It's just going to be more of the same, some additional traveling, just not, and more content, more poker, more occasional bars, but not too many bars, and trying to go to some places that I haven't been to yet, at least with the blog, like Florida and new MGM out East Coast. Need to get out there. Really want to go up to Portland area because I love it up there, and there's poker up there.
Mm-hmm.
International, got to get to some spots international. You there, buddy?
Wow, we had to relocate to the pool. Oh, Andrew's gone. So I guess Andrew left. So that's it. We had some lag, had some technical difficulties, but I had to relocate to the pool because of some tilting motherfuckers and put me on more tilt than I've been on at any point in time in the near future. So that's it. That's what we got. I'm literally at the pool right now. Look at this. We're literally outside at a pool area. That's it. Much love. Adios. See you guys later. Peace out. Be back soon. If you watched through all this lag. And that's it. That's what we got.